So now the fun begins. We've got most of the main assemblies pretty much complete. The capsule's done. The main part of the adapter with the hinged pallets is done. I've got the shroud around the retro rockets. So now I've got all my parameters such that I can start installing the remaining standard adapter equipment, you know, tanks and electronic boxes and things, fuel cells, and the special payloads that go on the pallet, because I need to put all that internal equipment in, and so that I can check the fit when those pallet doors close, everything still fits. And I'm been thinking about how would they do re-entry. There's no separate retro section. The adapter appears to be a single monolithic adapter without a separate section, because a lot of those functions are now in the booster stage. So there needs to be, I think, a clear path for the retro exhaust, so anything can't fill that center very much, and there's no place to mount anything in the center anyway, so got to put a little design thought into this. So let's see what we got. So I've actually started installing some stuff now that I have the shroud complete, and what I've done is I'm going to be putting on some of these tanks that go on this this little piece of structure that I added, and I got mounting points ready for those here. And what I've done is I'm going to add some little details. So I add some wire tubing on both sides. I think you can see that. It goes around to the front here, some random place for the umbilicals, and some on this side here as well. You can see some of that. And that's just, you know, beading lead wire, nice and soft, a couple different diameters that give me things to choose on. I'm probably going to save the heaviest stuff for the propulsion section. But I've got an assortment of little electronic things, and now I've got to decide what's going where, and probably want to put in some of the wiring detail before I put the boxes and tanks on, because that'll be harder to do it afterwards. So let's have fun with installing equipment. All right, so I've made some progress on installing things in the adapter. Got the fuel cell reactors, 2 of them, and I've even got some plumbing. You can see here some little wire. It's going from the fuel cells, it's going to go to the tanks that'll be mounted here a little bit later. Get those when I have a little more room. And I got second one here, and there's one there in the middle. Turn that the right way you go. And I got a little plumbing attached to those, so plumbing for those tanks here. Install this equipment pallet. I'm going to install the other electronics box here in a minute, and slowly coming along. So that's the first start. I want to get these things in and the heavy plumbing before I put the other tanks in, and then we'll work on the payload pallets. You may notice things look a little messier. That's because in experimenting, right now I'm at the point of trying to design payloads for these experiment pallets. And so what I've done was just made a little paper template to lay out, you know, what might fit on each side based on the old sketch. So I've got these templates roughly sized, and for example on this side made a little box that shows a the electronics, what is it called, a nuclear sensor and a TV camera. And so that would go on the front, and on the top are mounted the and I've got them here, barely see them, what's going to be negation missiles. And there's just gonna be tubes to contain the missiles, and you can maybe see them here. And it can be something like this. And 3 of those, and they'll just be capped off, because in space you wouldn't have them just sitting out exposed. So there'll be something like this sitting on top of here, and on the other side I've started, where did it go? Here we go. Here's a sensor of some sort. Just a little box. I took a box from the 24th scale Gemini and added a little sensor tube, camera tube or something to the front. And that'll be that. And starting to think about, there's some cameras and lights on the other side here. Got a little platform for that here. It's built up and that'll park this way. Now the trick is these come out at one angle, but all the sensors got to point forward. So I realized I need to have some sort of an alignment jig to put these on so they're aimed the right direction. So what I'm going to do, I'll make a little cardboard rack, and this will sit flat, and then I'll have a right angles coming off the ground so that these all go forward. So you see, if you want something aiming forward, it's got to go this way. And of course, the pallet's open at a different angle. So I've got to get all that alignment sorted out. So that's the next step. That's the next step to make some kind of alignment jigs. These all go on, because you can see here, it's a bit of an angle. So this is messy, it's tedious. With lots of little parts to choose from for little antennas and things. Bins of styrene strip and styrene sheet to make boxes out of. So it's coming along, but this is going to be slow.